Hello, I'm Doreace Slate, and the country that I chose was Mexico. And I have some information about Mexico that I thought was quite interesting. Mexico is located in the continent of North America. It covers 1,943,945 square kilometers of land, which is larger than I had anticipated it was. 20,430 square kilometers of water, it is surrounded like water around the landmass, making it the 14th largest nation in the world.
Hello. For this part of my presentation about Mexico, I was trying to think I would like to interview someone that had some knowledge about the education of Mexico. And one of my colleagues' husband was born and raised in Mexico. He doesn't speak a lot of English, so I did an interview. He did not want to be videoed. So this is the response that I had gotten from him. And he said, "Hello, I was born in Mexico in 1982. I am a generation called Millennium, and I think it is relevant to comment on this because I consider that I'm an important part of my education. Electronic devices has been incorporated into my education in a very important way. In my first years of schools, the 6 years that comprise elementary education, the entrance to my classes was at 8 a.m. until 2 p.m., with a recreation time 30 minutes that divided the day into two stages. The first stage covered the school year in Spanish. The subjects were math, Spanish, social, natural, geography, history. The second stage was the course in English. The subjects were grammar, vocabulary, and spelling. The evaluations were monthly, and every semester we made a general evaluation for the course in the morning and another in the afternoon. We had sports activities twice a week, 1 hour per day, 1 hour of music, 2 hours of reading, 2 hours of computering, and a week activity where homage was paid to the homeland and to independent heroes. After school, we had an annual competition where we divided the school into two teams to compete in different competitions. This event was very important for all of us because we had the opportunity to compete with other partners in different sports. 2. I know American education. I only have some reference in that is divided into stage kinder, elementary, middle school, and college. Another similarity is that I find free and secular education provided by the state and private. In the case of Mexico, it is free until the university, but unfortunately insignificant for population since we have few who reach this level. What I liked the most about my elementary school were my classmates and teachers, the extracurricular activities such as festivals, coexistent events, and annual support competitions. Now I appreciate the effort to give my elements that were very useful for my later education. But I think this was everything that surrounded education that informed my character and future academic trend. In my experience, I was also very restless with artists and sports tendencies that I think focused more on my hyperactivity. For that reason, it was hard for me to focus on the classrooms. I think I have a good memory and I solved a lot of my elementary education in that way, memorizing more than understanding. I think that I would have liked to have more artistic and sports activities that would place me developing qualities at an early age. That would say improvements in education system, if I consider that they should exist. For example, I consider education. It is not only to acquire knowledge, it is more interest to understand what knowledge is for and which you can apply it. It is important at base, and from there I would like to try to develop agilities with which you can use knowledge. It seems to me that a good performance starts from a knowledge and an ability for its development. Reality, my experience, is little in America. I have seen some documentaries, and articles on the subject, and with this information I can add that I can see an effort every day to improve. I also see they have better infrastructure, organizations, and human capital compared to my country. I trust that there is a willingness and knowledge on the part of those responsible, and that seems very important to me. The willingness of each one to do their work makes a difference in any place, and more transpose of education. I know it is not an easy job, and that day is looking to improve.
News brief about the history of Mexico. The Olmecs, Mexicans' first known society, they were known for their massive native stone carvings. The Aztecs, they were the last of the pre-Columbian Mexican great native civilization. The Catholic Church was also a great influence in this region, with missionaries arriving in 1523. Another important moment in history was the Mexican-American War between the U.S. and Mexico. Lastly, Mexican population has greatly increased since World War II. Did you know about these facts about Mexico? Tequila, a liquor for which Mexico is famous, it's named after a city where it originated. Also, another fact, nearly 2,000 miles between Mexico and the United States is the second longest in the world. Also, their flag, green, white, and red, holds deep significance for the country and its citizens, as it's a reminder from the bloodshed by the nation's heroes. Education in Mexico, there's a lot of similarities to the United States. They have primary, that is for age 6 to 12, and consists of grades 1 to 6. And secondary is grades 7 through 9th, and for 12 to 15-year-olds. It is offered free of charge to the children of Mexico, and it focuses at the age of 12. During these years, it's focused on specific education such as physics, world history, and more. Teacher's education, to become a teacher in Mexico, has a wide-ranging background, and it's difficult to know, depending on the school, depending on the area. Many are university trained without specific teacher training classes. Some at the higher levels of universities, they do have some teaching areas. Also, the quality of teachers and teaching training is measured with a test, and it's a lot different than in the United States. The teacher's salary in Mexico is extremely low. We think it's low here in Florida, but if you flip burgers, it's a higher salary than the teachers receive in Mexico. Many of the areas are in such need of teachers because they are extremely dangerous and in a remote area. The quality of education for most students in Mexico is poor. How is Mexico and the United States different, and how are they similar? Well, first of all, let's look at the similarities. They both The U.S. and Mexico has a rich entertainment industry and culture. Both prides itself on independence and freedom. Both have similar consumer choices like Walmart, Kmart, Kentucky Fried Chicken at McDonald's. The differences are language. Mexico, Spanish. United States, English. Mexican family is extremely important. Americans have extended families. Mexicans work an extended work week. United States has Social Security, while Mexican government does not provide much except health care is available to everyone at little or no cost. The wonders of Mexico, from the Aztec temples to the beautiful coastlines and the waters, from the springs to the waterfalls. Mexico is such a diverse and interesting country. My interview with Ricardo really gave me some insight on how people live in Mexico and their educational system. I do respect them and feel that they have such a rich culture. To conclude my presentation on Mexico, I want to say adios.